Jess on his right. Hey, hold up. Don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning. Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Whew. Good morning, bakers. Welcome to Wake and Jake. Myself and BBD coming live from our remote DraftKings studio in Arizona. My goodness. What a night. What a night. What a weekend for sports. Oh my God, I need to get the chat open. Like, what am I doing? I need to be with you guys because if you have no idea, Yankees land got rocked late last night on what's already an incredible sports weekend. I mean, the March Madness brackets are out. March Madness is here. That itself is one of the biggest sports days, sports weekends of the year. March Madness. Tom Brady, like one of the most famous athletes all time, came out of retirement. Just like basically posted, like, I thought about it for a little bit, and I don't want to retire.
39 days, I believe, is the retirement count. Tweet I saw that resonated was, man hit one parent-teacher conference and said, fuck this shit.
Like that. I saw some 40 days, 40 nights stuff. There's some Jesus angles. And it is so funny. We are out here for kind of spring training. Since we last talked, baseball is back.
Yeah.
It has been an insane few days. I'll walk you guys through it. BBD, did you post yourself? Are you in the corner in the chain pick?
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
might have put the chain pick there.
That's awesome. Thank you. Guys, we came out. I'll just peel everything back and start pouring it out. We want to do an Arizona spring training trip for a while. We're like, everyone loves Arizona. They preach about it. All the places are really close together, so you could hit a bunch of different spring training camps in one day. Baseball, locked out. Planning stuff with 27 people is a big thing. You have to plan out a lot. You have to rent places. You have to do stuff. So we planned a whole Arizona trip with baseball being locked out. And the content is incredible. And the dudes that have come over and more dudes coming over. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Chad Pinder came through yesterday. Awesome dudes.
Matt Chapman might be the sweetest man I've ever met.
Dude,
He's
just
so
like
sweet.
Yes, like just a nice guy that they all were. They were all awesome. We had the day before that, the house was running hot when Stephen Brawl, Tyler Wade, James Caprillion, there's another new friend.
He was so nice.
Co Tucker came out the first night, and he, think about this, his life totally changed. He had to go to Arizona for spring training. Florida, excuse me. We're Arizona people. So, basically, we went from no baseball, like, people asked, we had to rename, we were doing this as a spring training trip. We just started calling it the Arizona trip because there's no spring training. We would talk to our business partners, and they'd be like, isn't spring training canceled? Baseball came back on the flight. And now,
like 45 minutes to land. Agreement reached.
we are in it, and all of that leads up to, which probably a lot of you have watched, Talking Yanks episode last night. How many Yankee fans were here?
In
20?
the house of
Like-
the 27
who's-
people
who's
we've
out?
got.
Like Blake likes the Brewers.
Roses, Cleveland.
Rose likes the Guardians.
Trev played. Moylan,
It's
Rays,
true.
Kelsey.
Okay.
Paxton's not a Yankee fan.
Just not a baseball
We'll lump
fan.
her in.
She gets lumped in.
She's heard you say Gary Sanchez before.
Yes, and that's the first thing. So again, I know this is Yankees heavy stuff, but it's what happened here, and it's what I'd want to share with you guys. So Gary Sanchez traded. I said this on Talking Yanks. I said a lot of stuff on Talking Yanks. Gary Sanchez has been a whirlwind for this company, for the Yankees. We've all spent a lot of time defending Gary Sanchez at different points. He's been a pressure point for Yankees fans for a while, whether you think he's awesome or you think he stinks. Gary Sanchez and the Gary Sanchez story with the Yankees ending, nobody was surprised. When that first came out, everyone looked around and was like, whoa, Gary Sanchez traded. Like, okay.
Surprised, not shocked.
It was like the Yankees been looking for their offseason to begin. Gary Sanchez with the Yankees, 138 home runs. Like, again, for a catcher, it's really good. That's really good. I mean, I haven't even been able to get into like the level of stats I like. Like, I'm sure I could post, if I do home runs from a catcher since 2016, Gary's probably top 3, something like that. Well, we'll get R&D actually on it because it's better that way. But we sold El Gary hats. Those were an early on thing in the company. It was Jim's guy. There's a lot of people's guy. Our Zach has a computer drive labeled Gary Sanchez here.
I think has for a while.
So it was kind of like, all right. And then as the more details come out, Gio Urshela in the trade. Gio Urshela.
Since 2016, which keep in mind Gary didn't come up until August.
Right.
So he's spotting the rest of the league 4 more months. He has the most home runs by a catcher. And that's including Perez breaking the record this year. He's the only one within 5.
So you hear some stats like that about Gary, and I get it. There were some defensive stuff that wasn't great. I mean, even the last 2 seasons, nobody hit on the Yankees last year, so I don't really know what to do with that. Like, nobody hit on the Yankees. It was just
Kind of the same 2022.
Judge and Stan. And now Gary Sanchez is gone, and I think we've just talked ourselves into so many times that the Yankees thought Gary Sanchez was their advantage. Like, he was a power-hitting catcher. The most home runs from the catcher position. Like, that's what Gary was. The defense, there was times when it hurt the Yankees. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gary was extremely talented and a hard worker, which we've heard from people inside the organization. His arm is electric. It wasn't there last year, which was weird.
Yeah, he wasn't specifically bad, but he didn't.
But
He never had like a moment that's like, oh yeah, got that done.
He just felt kind of like worn out from all of the Yankees stuff. Like the fact that he was such a thing. Like, Gary Sanchez goes to Minnesota. There's a bunch of Yankee fans here rooting for him to be awesome. To be awesome. Like, good dude. He's probably going to have fun in Minnesota. Like, the Yankees definitely limited that. Like, sad Gary.
He can get the beard.
Gio Urshela is like a sweet man. I said last night he's one of the few younger players that I can openly like be a fan about and be like, that's the way you play, dude. That's awesome. Just so jovial and an incredible comeback story. Like this dude, he was supposed to be a part of those fun Cleveland Indian teams. Like Lindor, Ramirez came up with those guys. And people think, like, I think those guys, like, respected Gio and were like, they still hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they're dudes.
Like every offseason's like biking with Lindor picks.
Yeah. Gio Urshela played 81 games as a 23-year-old. Plays really good third base. Struggled with the bat until he came over to the New York Yankees. And he's been great. Again, last year's stats, I don't really know what you do because no Yankees hit last year. But the 2 years before that, Gio was fantastic. I mean, all 3 years as a Yankee, 291 games, 292, 335, and 815 OPS with really strong defense at third base. Wasn't supposed to be a guy on the Yankees. Just wasn't. They paid $10K for him, something like that.
25, I think. Who cares? They paid
Right.
They paid less than my salary for him.
And he was a two-way player that the Yankees just didn't really have. And it was fun, and he was one of the more fun guys on the team. So, baseball-wise, I think as we come to grips with everything, and the Yankees now have an extra infielder, which is that going to lead to a Glaber trade? What is that going to mean? Baseball-wise, I think Gary Sanchez, everyone was ready for it. They knew there was a chance. We had just talked ourselves into one more year of this like massive experiment. It's not an experiment. The guy hit the most home runs from the catcher position. That's what Gary does. That it's just over with the Yankees. And then Gio, we'll see what the rest of his career looks like. I hope he balls out. He's 30. His time with the Yankees was awesome. Like, don't almost feel indebted to Gio. And then on the other side of it, Josh Donaldson. Haven't said his name yet. And IKF, Izzy, Kiner Falefa, they're coming over to the Yankees. Josh Donaldson is exciting to a degree. The Yankees have been an old, slow team for a little while. Like, definitely. Josh Donaldson, kind of a part of that. Josh Donaldson, an incredible baseball player. The dude has an MVP in the bag, 2-time Silver Slugger. His hitting numbers in recent years. Like, I mean, you can do it from 2018. In 2018, I think that was his banged up year, so that's not great. But 856 OPS. That's real. Health used to be more of a concern, or maybe that's Yankees fans saying that. Because it really does look like it's only 1 year that's like, damn.
Yeah, he's still getting the total games number. I guess DH is a bit more often, but...
And he has an edge. He's, like, if we did baseball's edgiest players, like Josh Donaldson, probably be up there. Like, that dude, when he plays, kind of has that 80s sports mentality that we talk about missing from athletes a lot. Like, Josh Donaldson, that dude plays fiery, and he wants to beat the other team, and the other team is not going to like him. So if Josh Donaldson can play like his numbers have been, he still plays a solid third base, and he could be the fiery guy that we have all said the Yankees have needed. Josh Donaldson could be a really fun 2-year Yankee. We've done a lot of drafts and different things to get through the pandemic lockout. All of it.
We did it both times.
Both times. Josh Donaldson could be a beloved 2-year Yankee. There is a good chance of that.
Very good chance he's a top pick in that draft next time we do it.
IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, is a little more interesting. If you have no idea, kind of a cool story. Makes it to the show by playing catcher. Basically says, I'll hop back there. Think about that. Think about being a minor league baseball player and changing, because that's what you think a better path to the majors is. Makes the team, slaps it around a little bit, ends up playing some third base. Disgusting, wins the Gold Glove. So good at third base, he goes to shortstop. So this guy went from minor leaguer to playing catcher to make it to the big leagues. Gold Glove third baseman. Now he plays a strong shortstop to some metrics. He's a talented defender. He's a speed player. His offensive stats are kind of...
In the 60-game season, he hit essentially league average. And that's been by far his best.
Right.
But
He's kind of... His Baseball Reference looks like when you go check out an older player who was a shortstop, and you're like, okay, yeah, he hit 280, 271, OPS in the sixes. So, I don't know. In today's baseball, that OPS is scary. You have to be really good defensively, and I do think he is that. The question is, how much are they in on him? Correa, Story are still free agents. Is there a smokescreen chance at all? I don't really think so. I think you'd really be brainwashing yourself as a Yankees fan to believe that. Could he be a utility speed guy? Stole, 20 bases last year? Something like that. Could see that. And the Yankees currently have an extra infielder. We didn't even really talk anything about Volpe or Peraza last night. If this is the move, the Yankees believe Volpe is the shortstop of the future, which, again, we could look back in 5 years and be like, oh, that's awesome, because he became one of the best players in baseball. Good thing you didn't pay 10 years for Correa. There's that side of it. There's just so many moving parts with the Yankees. Right now, they don't really have a catcher of what the Yankees think should be their starting catcher. We love Kyle Higashioka. Higgy talked to us with like, you guys don't understand how good Gary is. Like, Kyle Higashioka, a very sweet man, awesome dude. Like, the way he talks about Gary, he's like, you guys don't understand how good that dude is. Like, that dude's different. The Yankees don't have a catching solution. Luke Voigt, their one quote-unquote natural first baseman, they were, like, so rude to last year. Home run champ, hurt, played well, and they just wouldn't squeeze him into the lineup. They got Rizzo. So they've been saying they're going to make a big first base splash, which means DJ LeMahieu and Gleyber Torres are both second basemen. One just signed a long-term contract with the team.
Seems harder to move.
One's been kind of, I don't even know. How do you describe Gleyber? Just frustrating a little bit. Like, he still has moments and talent. Like, the 2020 playoffs, he went nuts again, and, like,
kind of bought back all the momentum he had going into 2021. Like, you believed in him again, but then
shortstop, second base, we kind of did the same thing again. Like, he went over to second base, he looked good. And if the Yankees make a big trade, like, Gleyber Torres is someone that I do think would have to be a chip in that trade. Kiner-Falefa, Josh Donaldson on the left side, whole new left side. That's crazy. Like, think about the Yankees, like Jeter Rod and like that stuff. Like, whole new left side of the Yankees. That's a big deal.
When's the last time that both those positions like new starter for the next season.
Yeah. I mean,
Like going into the year is the plan.
like your guy. Yeah, that's tough.
Like I guess like 18 and 19 or whatever. You knew Didi was that's what Glaber was going to go there, but you didn't know Andujar was going to start the year and get hurt immediately, and it would be Gio.
Brandon Drury.
Drury stuff.
So, long story short, and I think what makes this funny and beautiful is that the house, like there's an emotional event at the house. Everyone felt a lot of emotions on it. So, hey, baseball's back. That's exciting. The emotions of baseball. And yeah, there's just confusion from Yankees fans because there's so many other moves that, there's at least 3 moves that have to happen. And there's probably a lot more that can happen that you wish you knew the end of the recipe. Is this the first ingredient in the sauce and we're done making sauce? Or is this the start of the sauce? Is this like one of those grandma special recipe? It takes grandma a week to make her sauce. Grandma starts throwing stuff in a week ago. You got to leave it overnight. I don't know. We will see. And I guess thank you guys for letting us let out a little more Yankees talk. If you want to watch a silly, intense episode of Talking Yanks, last night I think a lot of people have already labeled as a Talking Yanks all-timer.
It's in, and I guess now we need top 70 for the 10% game. We play a lot of those. Oh, is that a top 60 app? And now I guess that game is top 70 app. I think it's a top 70 app.
I think it's a top 70 app. And, yeah, I mean, the Yankees, there's 2, holes in their lineup, a catcher and shortstop, which a Yankees team with the CBA going up after just resetting the luxury tax. They're not going in with 2 offensive zeros in their lineup. You can't do that.
With the other guys not being non-question marks.
Yeah, and there's so many other question marks. That's and still that's catcher, shortstop.
Those are the 2 positions you can do that if you believe in everywhere else.
Strength up the middle, yeah. So yeah, I would go check that out, and it is funny. We, again, part of our secret sauce, not Grandma's secret sauce, our secret sauce, is going live and doing that then, because I do feel it's fandom, and when we were live in that moment, you're feeling it. You're missing Gary, you're missing Gio. Watch those guys day in, day out for a while. That today I sit here and I am like, it's a trade. There's a lot more that has to happen. Shouldn't fully jump to conclusions, but that being the first transaction of this whole Yankees offseason, really, I mean, that was so nuclear for Yankee fans that it was it was beautiful and probably a little sad about how much we all like baseball and the Yankees.
And the next biggest moment the Yankees have had, or we as a company have had, or this trip's had, was just Simmons going somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was the next biggest reaction to anything.
Yeah. A little messed up. So, I think that's it on a Yankees-Mets trade. Is there anything? Ben Rortvedt.
He will play some games for the Yankees this year. Good framer.
Good pitch framer. Ben Rortvedt. I hope he does. I hope he's nasty. I hope they all are.
People think he might be able to run into some pop.
We're going to do Talking Baseball at 9 Mountain Time.
I think we're west now.
Oh, my God.
Because we also came here during daylight savings.
The time zone has changed around us. We didn't even do daylight savings time, but the time.
We changed what group we're in.
Yeah, we just
Switch teams.
we want to be with the West Coast again. That's crazy. Can't do that. Can't do that, Arizona. There's so many other sports things.
And Nelson Cruz went to the Nats right before.
Right before 2 years, right? Were
I think
we
there's like
joking
some.
about that?
I think there's like
Or
some
one in
team
an option?
options.
Correa's still not signed.
Stories still out there.
Some people think Correa's happening soon.
It seems like momentum towards a return for him.
Trevor Story, also not yet signed. The Players' Championship, and he just started talking about golf the rest of the time. Players' Championship, I'm just talking about this sports weekend. It's been a rainy disaster down there. They're still playing. I think we got guys on the course right now. Like, just awesome how sports can come up and get you, because that's what it did, because the March Madness brackets came out. You want to know everything I know? I know Villanova's a 2 seed, because Matty
that.
Mass told me. Talking baseball coming up later. We'll go through some of the Nelson Cruz's,
Kershaw won
Rodon,
back.
Kershaw, Rodon, baseball, and that's the other realization we had the other night. We've all said it for months, but now that it's real, like, baseball until opening day is going to be pure chaos. Like, pure chaos. There's so many free agents. There's so many trades that are going to happen.
Spring training games start in 3 days.
You literally packed everything into a short time period. And I think baseball, I guess that was one of the other conversations that was going around the house. Was the lockout, like, kind of good for baseball? People were talking about baseball a lot. Now we're going nuts with transactions. It sucked for us because you can't plan anything. And we like doing baseball stuff. Baseball's hot in the streets. Heard that before. We're doing Talking Baseball after this. Carlos Rodon has signed. NBA, no. Tom Brady came back. What? How nuts that is? Oh my God. Do you know? So, Tom Brady comes back. Cool. Like that. A lot of talk about, Tom Brady, like his tweets getting some of the most likes you get in a minute, like all that kind of stuff. Crazy. It's like it's not fully a where were you moment, but it was like, Tom Brady's back. Tom Brady's back. Dude, Moylan didn't know. It was while they were playing golf.
Right.
So they had no idea. So last night, someone mentioned it conversationally, and they were just like, yeah, like, can you believe Brady's back? And Moylan's like, what are you talking about? And they thought Peter Moylan was just being an idiot. And like, you heard, right? Like, it was like a huge thing. Like, Tom Brady's coming back. And Moylan was like, fuck off. Didn't think it was real. Because if you're a sports fan, that's something you find out immediately. Like, that just gets to you. Your friends text you. You end up on Twitter. Like, something like that happens.
Like that.
Like, Peter loves Twitter. He's the first person to tell you that. Loves Twitter. Loves scrolling the feed, seeing people's opinions. He was playing golf. Him and Jerry Blevins versus Matt Olson and Matt Chapman in our backyard. So I wonder if they don't know. That's the other thing.
did they leave here without knowing that
There's a
happened?
chance because we were like entertaining them. So Tom Brady is back. There's now some good like old NFL QB drama as everyone kind of starts to hate Rodgers. Like Tom Brady gets to be more Tom Brady. And like, dude, talk about the definition of maybe this is too far. Maybe I guess BBD, you literally say it. You don't bet against Brady. This is a man who's supposed to be the fiery nut job competitor that like Michael Jordan is, that made Michael Jordan. Like the whole documentary. Remember that part of the pandemic when basically every Sunday night we just find out a cool Michael Jordan story and we're like, this is life now. Where he's so competitive, he's messing around with like the clubhouse attendants, and he's like getting obsessed with golf, and he's making up fake fights in his head to like be more competitive. Tom Brady sat on his couch for a month and a half thinking like, I'm probably not playing football anymore. I'm retired. I made it. I just had the best NFL career anyone's had. Basically, the GOAT. 39 days, and he said, I'm coming back. I'm not done yet. That's a guy who's wired differently than all of us.
Like everyone was saying, he didn't use the word retired when he announced that, and everyone kind of assumed like maybe he's just gonna take a year, or maybe just doesn't want to do training camp anymore. But like there were a lot of people who were like, Brady's gonna find his way back, but for it to happen now and not right before or during training camp or something, and that is the part that's almost more shocking.
But I think that's kind of like Tom Brady. Like he wouldn't like half-ass it and come in out of shape and be like, I'll figure it out. Like I think Tom Brady's like, if I'm going to do this, we're doing it right.
And I guess, and the way that Bucs season ended, was just kind of, yeah, he almost came back from another big deficit in that game against the Rams, who go on to win. But there's an element of like the K quote we always talk about from the Boone game, like how's that going to end this benignly? It's just kind of a almost comeback, but he loses in like the second round or whatever it was. Like that never felt right.
Brady already won one with Tampa.
Yeah, and they'd won the year before.
And like Tampa as an organization like wasn't respected. Like Tom Brady going to Tampa.
When he went there, everyone was like, "Oh, does he just want to chill in Florida for a couple years?" And it's like, no, they won the Super Bowl second he showed up.
Brad Hand to the Phillies.
1 for 6.
Huge. Tom Brady's back, so I guess we don't have to get used to NFL Sundays without him yet.
Probably get him in your fantasy draft.
Yeah, there's a chance. He could be good. Wow. Just saw Josh Donaldson in Yankees gear for the first time.
Yeah, the picture next to Boone.
I saw Brian Hoke. Brian Hoke tweeted one. Looks good. Clean shaven. It's kind of a beast. All right. Tom Brady's back. Changes our whole quarterback rankings that we teased forever. Let's look at a bracket. Let's crank a bracket, and then we're going to go. I mean, it's TPP, PPP season, talking baseball, talking Yanks. I think, are we going to the Brewers facility today? I heard that talked about.
Were you going?
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we're just saying hi. No idea. Gordon Beckham is on my screen because I had a tab open from the Foolish Bailey episode. Thank you for everyone that listened to that. Another really good episode. You guys like Bailey. Don't get why. No, that's not nice. It's not nice. like Bailey a lot. Let's look at a bracket, and we'll start wrapping up. Some comment of the day, some bro of the night. Okay, so this is instant bracket reaction. Maybe we'll fill them out and post them, something like that. That might be on the Wake and Jake feed. We'll see. Gonzaga, the 1, sure, knock yourself out. Boise State, Memphis, don't care. My UConn is a 5 versus New Mexico State. That's an easy win. Just clicked it. UConn not getting upset. I know it's a 12-5. UConn's not getting upset. They're probably winning this bracket. Arkansas, Vermont, kind of don't care. Alabama, Rutgers, Notre Dame, that'll be an upset. Whoever advances from Rutgers, Notre Dame. Texas Tech, Michigan State's a 7 seed. Michigan State and Duke feel like they play in the second round every NCAA tournament. Coach K's last year, okay, over the west side of the bracket. UConn probably comes out, in my unbiased opinion. Baylor, North Carolina, an 8 seed. That's always exciting when you see a program like that potentially getting into the 1 area. UCLA, don't really care. They made a run last year. They could be good again. Kentucky, Murray State. Okay. I think I'm a Baylor guy. I think that's Baylor's region. Next. This is Bracketology 101. Take that, Joe Lenardi. Kansas, sure. Iowa, are they good? Providence, they might not be. South Dakota State might give them a scare. Wisconsin, they got a pretty decent bracket. I like Auburn, too. Okay, that's fun. I was mean to 2 brackets, and I somehow started liking that one. Arizona is the 1. Who knows? Arizona's a fun college basketball program. It'd be cool if they were, like, cool again. I feel like they've been off of that just a little bit. Houston, UAB, don't care. Illinois, who's a good sleeper team? Tennessee, how about them on the 3 line?
Loyola Chicago's back.
Everyone loves Loyola Chicago. That's not a horrible draw. So, do they only have... So they have 2 12 play-in games. Wyoming versus Indiana. And Rutgers, Notre Dame, and then they have 16 seeds played again in?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw someone mad
It
about...
says both 16s.
I saw someone mad about the 16 seeds having to play in. And I don't know where I stand on it. Because I know it was Tony Reale. Talking Yanks fan, Tony Reale. Was like, these teams have won their conference tournament. Like, that's...
You're supposed to be in.
That's supposed to be the requirement to be in. And if you're just playing a 16 versus 16, you're not in. Do I also get that those teams stink and we're getting a couple better tournament teams in? I do. So, that's tricky. College sports. Man. It's too much baseball. Too much baseball. They packed it into 1 area. We need another 2 weeks.
Spread it out.
We should have just had 2 weeks before this. All of this being said, BBD can confirm. I'm college basketball. I'm in. I've been trying to get it on every TV in the house. College basketball this time of year with the conference tournaments and now this. Super excited. Super excited. They, college basketball, we talked about it a little bit throughout the year. I was wondering if I was going to get the hooks in me this year. I was wondering if they were going to snag me. Or maybe this baseball chaos will take over. No, I love March Madness. It's the best. I know that's the least controversial take you can have. They literally fill out brackets in every company across the country. Really excited for March Madness. Anything else, BBD?
Rosenthal tweeted 8 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago now that like Cleveland's involved in the Matt Olson stuff. Just no,
No, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. All right. Hey, everyone live in the chat right now. You guys are the best. Tom Ace, Faye Al, Nick, Jaded. You guys are the absolute best. What you guys, by watching us do this stuff, I mean, man. It's allowed us to have a pretty cool week out here, and it's just getting started. It's really just getting started, so we're cranking content. Thank you guys. The DraftKings comment of the day. Go to DraftKings. Place your bets. I actually placed a really good golf bet the other day. You can juice the odds. I bet John Rahm to beat a guy heads up, and he did. Boosted the odds. Free money. So thank you, DraftKings. DraftKings has also provided a lot to this company that helps us do a lot of good things. So go to DraftKings. I got to bring up the disclaimer. Maybe I'll circle back on that. It'll be a beautiful end to the episode. Bakers, I ask you guys to bake the algorithm. Leave a comment. Leave a review. And last episode we had, as I mentioned, Foolish Bailey was back. The best OK players ever with Foolish Bailey. And I haven't looked at these comments yet, so I'm actually really excited. Bailey and Jake need to do a weekly show together. Wow. I mean, I don't know about all that. But
Can talk.
Huge Ass commented, I'm only 10 minutes in, but this is already the ultimate remember some guys. Jason Kubel, Tony Womack, Ty Wigginton in the first 3 picks, chef's kiss. And yeah, Sam Dodson burned me, and I'll give them credit. They said this Bailey guy is as likable as Jake is unlikable. That's pretty good. Chad Tracy in the comments, Kevin Kuzminoff. Okay, so it turns into real nerdy baseball as we go, which is fantastic. So again, I guess I get nervous about ripping off some baseball sometimes, but we get a lot of. This is a safe haven for baseball sports fans. Baseball sports fans that still want to talk about some of the other sports. This is a safe place for you guys. So, thank you guys for being the absolute best. Do you have a bro, BBD? I mean, I feel like Gary Sanchez, the home runs thing.
Yeah. Do you want to rip the call to action thing?
Yeah, I can't find it.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOMBOY. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win. Get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code JOMBOY this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And by the way, like those 1 versus 16 seed games, you could do that. That's $200 if you're looking.
It's been wrong once.
If you're looking to get into DraftKings. Yeah, I think it might just be Gary. Gary Sanchez has the most home runs by a catcher since 2016. Bro of the night. Josh Donaldson, be really good. Bro of the night. IKF, do what you're really good at.
Be fast, play good defense, don't strike out.
Bro of the night. Tom Brady, constant. The fact that Tom Brady.
What was the other football thing? There's some big football move.
Dude, like quarterbacks are moving and stuff. We were going to do Chris Rose. Russell Wilson's a Denver
have a
Bronco.
quarterback. That's the one I was thinking of.
Like, how quickly sports can move and dominate is insane. Russell Wilson's on the Denver Broncos. This episode was gonna be a Chris Rose quarterback conversation. Didn't ask him. Things got chaotic last night.
We figured out we weren't gonna need that.
I love it. I love it. Sports, hot in the streets. Baseball, hot in the streets. JOMBOY Media, hot in the streets. If you guys haven't been tracking, we have so much silly content that's already out. We have so much content coming on the way. I mean, Shea Station recorded an episode right after the Chris Bassett trade. Like, how long ago does that seem? Fantasy baseball draft got pushed last night. That's how emotional things were in the house. Feel bad. Sorry, Jolly Blake.
As is, I think that was a pushed day. Yeah, because it's supposed to be Saturday night, and we decided to have a Saturday night.
It's a double shift. Double shift. Damn.
We got to ban those.
Yeah. There's rule changes. Does anyone know the shift rule change yet?
I don't think so, because I think they said that that'll start next year. So this year's shifts are live, I think.
I thought the 45-day rule is attached to it too or something.
But I think the 45-day thing, it still has to be in the off season. You can't just I think you can't just add a rule during the season. So it's like, oh, if at the beginning of the off season he proposes it, it can be official 45 days later. And
dude, they have to do it this year.
And after all,
because they're adding the DH. That's a rule change,
I really
right?
hope they do, because it'd be just kind of nice. The Yankees would benefit.
Tune into Talking Baseball. Tune into Talking Yanks.
This is the year I know the Yankees have Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
So I'd love the shift.
Let's get rid of it. We're probably, I wouldn't be shocked if we are going live at some different times over the next few days with any other breaking news. A Correa story. Freddie Freeman. Matt Olson trade. He was here yesterday. Hung out with him. Might have his life twisted upside down. Fresh Prince. All right, BBD. Let's wrap it. Let's get out of here. You guys are the absolute best. We will see you. Maybe March Madness. Definitely baseball.
Yeah.
Definitely baseball. Which is awesome. Especially where we were a couple weeks ago. Thank you guys. You're the absolute best.
Don't start a fight.
We'll see you later.
He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.